Well, welcome back to the Weekly J. Hey, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but that is okay because that's normally what happens when you go live. And I'll be honest, we've only done it live one other time, and it's because we want to keep it special. And part of the reason is, as well, as some of you may or may not know, September is Suicide Awareness Month. Obviously, a big deal to those of us that have served because, well, man, we have a lot of our brothers and sisters that, man, for no reason at all, that are just, it's sad. And this happens to be the last Friday in the month of September. And the guest that we have on, I'll be honest with you, I rate people by what I call badassery. There's 3 levels, right? And our guest today hits all 3, right? And I'll explain what those badassery levels are later. But bottom line, this guy is amazing. You definitely want to tune in for this. And we're live, baby. Woo-hoo! So let's do this. You know what time it is.
There's dirt on my hands, strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the dark.
All right, so welcome back to the Weekly J. You guys know this ugly mug. We always say, I got a great face for radio. And of course, I'm accompanied by my chief commander, my cohort, Miranda Ramirez, prior yeoman in the U.S. Navy. We got Cliff Bailey, petty officer, second class. It's behind the scenes, running all the technical gee whiz fun stuff, right? Because remember, I was just a door kicker and I ate crayons for a living, so this stuff is beyond me. But our host, or our guest today, an amazing man. Like I said, he hits all 3 levels of badassery. Bottom line, badassery level number 1. Pretty much take care of himself, and you wouldn't want to meet him in a corner at nighttime, right? You just don't want to run into this guy. Number 2, he is passionate about what he does. He has a passion to serve and help others. And number 3, he's committed to the cause. So he hits all 3. Boom, boom, for the badassery bell. Please welcome to the show our esteemed guest, retired Navy SEAL commander, John Macaskill. Welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, Jason, thanks so much for having me. I'm looking forward to the show. And, I'm humbled by that badassery introduction. Not sure if I fit that first one, but hopefully I fit the second and third.
Man, anybody that served, brother, yeah, man, it's just, dude, I read your story. Honestly, the way we first were connected was through Miranda, because she saw your story. She's like, Jay, check this guy out. Holy cow. And then it was, you were promoting the EM Life app, right?
Yeah.
Because they were doing free, mindfulness
and meditation.
Yes, there we go.
For veterans. Yeah.
Yes. And I remember that because I'll be honest a little bit about my story. I went through the nut house. I didn't get a chance to tell you earlier, but I went through the not the PRRP. I'm sure you're familiar with that program. That's where people go for 6 months, get away from their family. I did the BIOP, Behavioral Intensive Health Outpatient program, right?
Okay.
And that's where I really got focused on meditation, retrospective, or introspective, either or both. So it just, when I saw this, like, holy cow, this is amazing. And dude, what you did, your 21 days or 22 days of gratefulness, right?
Yeah.
That's tough when you have to come up with something every day, right? I mean,
it really was, man. It was, but it was good. It really kind of changed my mindset, my outlook on a lot of things. Even the days that I was not feeling very grateful, I would find something that I was grateful for, and that would make me feel different through the rest of the day. Yeah. So that's a thing by a guy named James Corbett, who founded an organization called Project Refit. And Project Refit just has a grateful challenge. It's much like the 22 push-up challenge that's out there to bring awareness to veteran suicide. But not only is it bringing awareness to veteran suicide, but it's changing minds. So anybody who participates is physiologically going to change their mind, the way they think about their day, the way they think about their lives. So if we can save not only those who are thinking about potentially taking their lives, but also save every person who's participating in the challenge in a way, right? So
well, you're changing it at a massive scale, right? You start micro, and literally it's paying it forward at its best. I mean, Jay Shetty talks about it with think like a monk. I don't know if you know most people have heard of Jay Shetty. He does the inspirational stuff on Instagram, right? He actually was a monk for a while, but the reason why I was so captivated by it is because I'll be honest, I'm tired of the 22 push-up a day thing. I'm tired of seeing people doing push-ups. I'm tired of the ice challenge because yes, okay, cool. Thank you. Right. Thank you for bringing awareness. But
Yeah.
It's like how many people, and don't get me wrong, there's quite a few people that actually do it. They truly mean it, but there's a lot of people that just try to get their 15 minutes. Right. So when you have to say every day, I'm grateful for this, this is like, because there are so many people, you know, like other guests that we've had on the show, Miranda, like TC, right? You know, he is passionate about eradicating veteran homeless hunger and veteran hunger, right? I mean, and working 2 jobs to do it, you know, like, so that's where like every week, the fact that I get to be on with folks like you and TC and Shante and all these other folks that we've had on that are truly serving, that's more what I want to see is like someone make the switch and be like, you know what, damn, I get ice cubes, I get to take a shower, I get to kiss my wife or my husband, whatever, and I get to sleep in my bed. You know what, life isn't so bad, right? You know what I mean? Like there's people that just don't even have any of those blocks. So but yeah, you're a podcast host of the Veterans Path. I mean, bro, you just doing all kinds of things. You drive around an RV, but you bought a home now. Like, holy crap, man. Like, let's talk that. Like, how did you get down this path? How did this happen? Like,
oh man, let's see where to start with that question. So I guess let me just lay a little bit of foundation and we'll get on the road. So the foundation starts in a small town in Ruston, Louisiana. Actually, it starts in further back than that. I was born in South Africa. My parents moved me and my 3 older sisters and younger brother to the States in 1984. One of the reasons they moved us from South Africa was so that my brother and I wouldn't be drafted into the military. So I came over here and voluntarily.
It didn't work out so well.
Okay. Yeah, right. So enlisted in the Navy. I was a parachute rigger for just over a year. I went from the enlisted ranks to the Naval Academy. Went from the Naval Academy and ended up going into the SEAL teams, where I served for the next 17 or so years. During which one of our deployments was a pretty bad one. And you've seen the movies, read the books, Lone Survivor. That was my first deployment. Lost some good friends. Lost a part of myself. Kind of had some survivor guilt there. And I battled with that the rest of my time in the Navy, honestly, or at least a good portion of my time in the Navy. Went through different medications, went through different counselors, eventually self-medicated with alcohol and anything else that I could get my hands on. And finally found a counselor who was like, hey, you should try meditation for what it is you've got going on. And I kind of laughed at him. I was like, come on, doc, I've got some real stuff going on. And he pushed it on me, eventually convinced me to try it out. Tried it out for a couple of weeks. Got the immediate effects, like immediately after every meditation, I was like, yeah, I feel good. But then as soon as I got into any type of stressful situation, those effects went out the window. So I went back to him. I was like, doc, this is not working. Let's talk more. Let's see what other medications you can put me on. He's like, no, I want you to continue to try this out for a little bit longer, because giving it 2 weeks is not giving it a chance. That's like going to the gym for 2 weeks and thinking you're going to come out looking like a bodybuilder. And obviously that's not how it works, right?
Yeah.
So mindfulness and meditation, I gave it, another 2 months or so. And that's when I started to see the difference in myself. And then another month or so after that, people came up to me and they're like, hey, what are you doing differently? Tell me what it is that you're doing that is bringing your levels of stress down and you're calming you down.
Well,
and then go ahead.
Sorry. Part of the meditation. So for folks that don't understand, one of the biggest parts of it is the proper breathing techniques, right? Understanding the breathing, right? And so I'm right there with you. I remember, like, trust me, I was like, get that crazy juju away from me. That ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? Like, come on, like, and earlier you were saying you were battling with, again, survivor's guilt, stuff of that nature.
Yeah.
A lot of things that people don't understand the way we battle, like, part of it is, and it just depends on the person. And it also depends on the time of day, right? Some of it could be like you get into that, I don't want to call it a victim mentality, but basically you're just like, man, you get in a funk, right?
Right.
And the other part of it is the exact end of it. You're over aggressive, right? I can remember, man, it's embarrassing, humiliating actually thinking about what I put my sons through when I came back from the last tour. I didn't realize how bad I had it. I didn't realize how bad my marriage was. Like just a lot of stuff, right? I mean, I'm thankful that my wife is just the biggest support person. Like she is my rock. I tell people this all the time. Like if people would have met me 7 years ago, they wouldn't like 7 years ago, Jason. They may not like Jason now, but he's way better than he was 7 years ago, right? So, and really what made me want to get better was partly going through with the docs. I looked at my wife and I was just like, babe, I think I need help.
Good for you.
I'm so sorry.
That's the first step, man.
Right. And she's like, baby, as long as you keep trying, I will always be by your side. And that floored me because I'll be honest, it's my third marriage. It's the longest I've ever been married. The first two were like flapjacks, burnt the crap out of them. So I never had really someone like that was like it floored me. I was like, holy crap, she deserves better. My kids deserve better, so so I get where you're going. I mean, what was that like for you? What was your struggle? Was it all above, talk about medication?
It seems like you're telling my story, man. Actually, I'm on my second marriage, and I actually met with Jen and Tom Satterley. I don't know if you know. I think you probably know Tom.
Yep.
And he was telling me that Jen is his last wife. He doesn't want to say fourth wife, so I'm on my last wife, second marriage, last wife, because I'm not doing it again. But anyway, so
dude, you sound just like me, bro. We're gonna have so much fun when I get to Colorado. Holy crap!
Yeah. So luckily, I didn't have any kids in my first marriage, so I didn't mess that part up. I'm sure I would have if I'd had kids, because I certainly messed up that marriage because of the crap that I had going on, right?
Yep.
And eventually remarried, had kids, and that's when I was like, hey, I really got to get things straight so that I can be the husband and father that I want to be. This guy, going back to that same counselor, he got me onto it. Like you were talking about, when I first started meditating, it's like my mind is going all over the place. I can't meditate. I'm one of those people who just can't meditate, but I'm living proof that I can. I believe in it. I meditate every day now, twice a day, 15 minutes, twice a day. And that really sets my mind right for the day. And the days that I miss that, I feel off, kind of off kilter, right? Yeah.
Brother, and I say, do you have to start your day? I mean, it's part of your day, right? When you start, right? And I've noticed the same thing. Like yesterday was one of those days. I didn't do my 20-minute meditation until almost 1400, and I was off the whole day. My team was like, dude, what is wrong with you? Just get away from me. So I get it, man. Holy cow. Did you finish the day with it as well, then I take it? Is that part of
No, so I don't. I do it 15 minutes in the morning first thing, and then 15 minutes after lunch. That kind of gets my head right for the rest of the work day. And then I practice mindfulness on the drive home or before I'm with my family again. That kind of sets my mind right. I've found personally that meditation actually gives me energy. A lot of people, it relaxes them and allows them to fall asleep, and that's great. More power to them. For me, if I meditate right before I go to sleep, then I actually amp myself up. I'm like, all right, I can tackle a little more stuff. I'm more focused. My mind is kind of like, remember the old computers when you had to defragment them every so often, so they would run?
It helps to defrag your brain. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Run optimal. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
I like it.
I optimize my mind that way. That's how I feel. That's what I picture. That or a snow globe where the lights are flowing all over the place. You put the snow globe down, it settles down. That's how I feel my mind is. Anyway, so I do it twice a day, 15 minutes twice a day, and then that gets me ready. And people tell me, hey, I don't have time to meditate. Well, again, the days that I don't meditate, my mind is all over the place, and then I don't get the things done that I want to get done. So it focuses me and turns my productivity level. It increases my productivity level, and I just feel better about my day at the end of the day. So coming full circle, or back to that doc, he introduced me to it, and then one of my mentors, a retired 06 Navy captain, S.E.A.L, he had gotten out, and he wasn't super happy with what he was doing when he got out. And he sat me down for a cup of coffee. He's like, John, if you're going to be retiring in the next couple of years, you need to start figuring out what the heck you're going to do. And because I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to be a retired 05 SEAL. The world is oyster. I can do whatever I want. I'll start figuring it out like, I don't know, 6 months before I retire. And he's like, no, that's not how it works. You need to start laying the foundation now. So I started like talking with everybody. It's like, hey, you're in commercial real estate. Tell me what that's like. What does that entail? Blah, blah, blah. And then you're in venture capital, you're in private equity, you're in finance, whatever. And going after all these bright and shiny objects. And meanwhile, every day I'm meditating. Yeah. And I'm like, light bulb, right? maybe I can do something with meditation and veterans. And I was like, well, I'm going to found a nonprofit that does this. And luckily, I didn't have to found it. Veterans Path already existed, and they found out through the grapevine about me, and they asked me if I could come on and serve with them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. And get this, man. So they were founded in Berkeley, California. Most of their work was in Berkeley, California, but then they wanted to move their headquarters to Colorado Springs. And my wife and I put together this list of places, and I was like, Colorado Springs is where we're going. And then they called me and said that. I was like, yeah, all the stories it's meant to be. Yeah, dude. And Bob McLaughlin's who introduced us, like me to Veterans Path, and it all just fell into place. So
yeah, it's amazing, bro. Oh my gosh, like, granted, that's I want to call that the happy sunshine unicorn story, right? Like, but I mean, it's good though. I mean, it goes to show. One of the things I like about meditation, it helps, like you said, it helps settle, defrag. It really helps get me laser focused, right? So,
totally.
Meditation for me actually works both ways. In the morning, it forces me to wake up, right? Because I'm focusing on the breath. I'm just letting the day come in. There's different guided meditations, that I use. And then in the evening, it also helps me go to sleep because there's, different sleep meditations that help, it's part of the programming, right? So, but the thing about starting the day with it, putting things into focus, like, man, you're living walking proof that, like, hey, this has literally helped you change your life. It's more than just the stars aligned. It got you clear subconsciously to where consciously you're able to make a plan and just go after it, right? So when you said light bulb turned on and you're passionate about it, dude, your face lights up just talking about it. It's awesome. I love it.
I love it, dude.
So
I love it, and I love even more so. I love sharing it with others.
Yeah.
And like when I sit a group down to help them learn how to meditate, and I run them through the science and the benefits and everything. That's all well and good, but at the end, I run them through a meditation.
Okay.
And a lot of the time it's knuckle draggers like us, right? They look at me and they're like, okay, fruitcake, when's this gonna be over? But then they sit down and they meditate, and I can see it changing them. Like in the 15-20-minute meditation that I'm guiding them through, I can see their stress coming down. And afterwards, they all come up to me. They're like, hey man, that's like the 15 minutes. That's like that's the most peaceful 15 minutes I've had in the past 3 weeks. And I can see that weight lifted up off their shoulders, and I know that it's making a difference. So when I know I'm making a difference in other people's lives, dude, this is what you get, man. You get me small.
Well, I mean, people ask me, they're like, dude, why are you so jazzed? And because obviously, I do VA loans, right? That's where I'm jazzed, and because of different reasons. I don't want to go too far down that path, but I get jazzed about it because of personal experiences. So I get excited talking about it with folks because I'm passionate about it, and I know we're doing it the right way and helping folks, right? But nice. Like you said, helping other people, man. I tell people all the time, like, hey, okay, I call me guilty, whatever it is that when I want to help people, because it makes me feel better as a person, as a human being, right? So like this show, it makes me feel better as a human being, knowing that I can share your message that's going to potentially help, that guy that might just, by the off chance, other than my mom that's listening to the podcast, like, oh, what's this all about, And but that's what it is for me, man. Like I get that. Like it's fun. It gives us purpose, right? Gives you direction. And
it does. And that's something that you've had in the military, right? You've had purpose, you've had a mission given to you the whole time. And then as you start to transition out, you're like, well, what's my mission now? Who's my tribe, right? And this luckily, because my mentor sat me down early enough, I was able to do that deep introspective work that you talked about a second ago and figure out, hey, what is my new mission going to be? My new mission was, hey, I want to serve people. And then how can I do that? I can do it with a tool that I've recently learned, and I can do it with a tool that I've recently learned to teach. And why not do it with those that I already love, my service members and veterans, my brothers and sisters in uniform, or those who have already hung up uniform.
So why Colorado Springs? Is that, I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong, I've got a brother that lives in Westminster. It's beautiful country, but as far as Veterans Path, what made them choose Colorado Springs? And what is the role look like for you now there? What does I guess a work week look like, for you?
Oh, wow, man. Every day is different. It's an adventure. I'm really enjoying that piece of things. But yeah, so Colorado Springs, it was kind of decided upon because one of our major board members, and then he got off the board and ended up being a major donor, lives here. He's an Air Force Academy graduate, and one of the athletic centers named after him, the Mart Holiday Athletic Center. So they're like, okay, well, we want to kind of center it around somewhere in Colorado. We had teachers in Boulder, we had teachers in Denver, we had some in Tennessee, some out in California, and some even in Alaska. Like, well, it looks like our center of gravity is around Colorado Springs. I think Bart Holiday, the guy that I just mentioned, he and Bob McLaughlin have a relationship, and then it's just a natural kind of handshake agreement between Veterans Path and Mount Carmel Veterans Service Center here in Colorado Springs. It just works. And there's tons of veterans here that we can serve. There's tons of service members here. You got Peterson, you got Carson, you got everything. You got the academy.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's tons of potential work.
Yeah. I mean, you actually, I think this summer spoke. I think you were the keynote speaker at a golf tournament event there in the Springs, or it was either this year or last year. I can't remember. One of my good friends, and I told him I was going to have you on the show. He's like, "Oh my God, I got to hear him speak," because he's real good friends with Bob up there at the Mount Carmel. So, but he's looking forward to, because I told him, I was like, well, I'm going to introduce him to you when we go to the Hoedown, because you're going to be at the Hoedown probably November 6th, right? That's the big gala for that.
I'm not.
For that center. Oh, you're not going to be there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm not familiar with it. You're catching me off guard.
Oh, put him on the spot live on LinkedIn. No, I'm fine. Yeah, it's one of the big fundraisers, I guess, that they do there every year, and so they normally do it like live there, but obviously COVID and it's like a combination live/virtual. It's supposed to be a pretty fun, as they would say, shindig. Whatever. But and they call it the Hoedown, which I thought was interesting.
Well, what's let me flip the coin on you, man. What's bringing you out to Colorado Springs?
So I've been blessed. I retired in 2015, got into the mortgage industry, and the VA loan is my passion. And very quickly became a top 1% originator, right?
Nice.
Worked for a different company, loved them, great company. Just didn't agree with the local leadership, how they did it here. And then was recruited by Guaranteed Rate to bring, I guess, that magic over here, right? So, and then that was in 2017. We just doing awesome. And our team is growing. And then as my clients, they PCS, right? So got, I think I'm licensed in 33 states and counties, is what Miranda says now. And one of my realtor teams I work with, referral partners there, they do they help a lot of veterans out there. And a lot of my veterans are like, Jay, you need to have a branch out here, because we do, I do the VA home loan benefit briefing for the USO Pathfinder Transitions program. And it's a very because I'm fully education based. I don't believe in call to action, sell, boiler room crap. I hate that. Excuse my language. I hate that shit. Right. Mainly because when I was active duty, I felt I had a big T-bone steak wrapped around my neck every time I tried to buy something. So that was part of the reason why I do what I do, is I don't want people to ever feel like that when they come to us. And then two, I try to break it down, and Miranda gives me a hard time because I say that all the time. I'm going to break it down. Right.
Give you a hard time.
Into a, we call it mortgagees, right? It's a different language. So I try to break it down in a way that's simple and easy to articulate to folks. So that way they're educated throughout the milestone, through the process. So that way, by the time they do buy their home, I always tell them, if you have questions left at the signing table, I didn't do my job properly, right? Nice. And then I always say, if I win, you win. And then even if I lose, you win, because that means you were able to leverage what I was able to do for you, and another competitor was going to do whatever they could to win the deal, which ultimately puts you in a better position. So long story short is basically I'm opening up another branch there. Because of COVID, prior to COVID, we were going to have a little bit bigger footprint, probably something closer to the actual airport there. But then with the relationship that my friend and mentor Paul Lequier had, his relationship that he's created with Bob there at the VSO at Mount Carmel, They're like, hey, we got a space. You got 2 spaces. One of them was like 34 square feet. I'm like, yeah, that one probably won't work. And then it was like, I was like, that looks like a closet, but okay. And then the other one was like 347 square feet. I was like, okay, I can put 2 desks in there. You know, second floor, we can share the conference center with all the other folks in there. Actually, that makes sense. That'll be a good spot, right? And the space is literally like
4 square feet.
Oh, did you? Okay, because they gave me. They're like, which one do you want? I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work. That's too small.
But it did.
But it did. I saw. I was like, okay, this is cool, but yeah, that's not going to fit. So, but yeah, I think the one that we're going with is like real close to the chapel is what it's. I think is on the diagram there. So where the reception area is like right there. So, so I'm super excited because I was like, you know what, this is a great way to start something here. And again, you know.
Dude, you should have been out here 2 months ago when we started our VA loan process.
Oh, you know, brother, I look like this. Bottom line, I'm just happy, one, you got to use your VA home loan benefit.
Yeah.
2, I've done the RV thing. Are you keeping the RV? Please tell me you are.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Okay. Here, we gotta keep it here, man.
So we sold ours, and I'm gonna have to buy another one because they were so much fun with the grandkids. I tell you,
dude. And there's so much to see out here in the RV. I'm out here. I've got a virtual background. Your audience didn't hear this, but I've got a virtual background because I'm sitting here at Royal Gorge. And the sun is setting. I mean, at the end here, it's incredible, man. So there's so much to see, and an RV gives us the ability to get around. But yeah, it's parked in our driveway right now. Just closed on the house this past Friday. We're super excited. Not moving in until the end of this month.
Got a rent back going on, yeah.
Yeah, rent back going on, and we're gonna go spend a week in Telluride, and then I gotta go back to Virginia to load up all my stuff that's in storage. But
well, wait a second. Hold on. How long have you been retired?
August 1st, I retired, but I've been in the RV since.
So you don't have to move anything because the big Navy ship. Okay, because I was like, dude, there's no way you go back to Virginia. Okay.
No. I'm flying back to Virginia to unlock the storage. Wrap my stuff up, put it in the truck.
Okay. So like, there's no way Commander Macaskill is going back and loading up a U-Haul, driving that thing cross country. That ain't happening.
No, man, no. Those days are way behind me, man. The mileage on this body and this chassis is no. I'm not moving. No way.
My wife and I, we're going to actually be out there for 2 weeks in November because we're actually looking at homes too. Because I refuse to rent if I'm over. So I'm always spending half my time in Colorado, half here in Hawaii. So, but we're looking between the Monument area because that's a little bit outside the Springs, but
just north.
Because
that's where we're at, man.
Oh, really? I can get some space out there, and still not be too far away from civilization, but still not be like,
Hey, I request a pool whenever you get your house. Okay.
A poll or a pool? Because that has 2 completely different meanings right there. I'm just saying.
Stop making fun of the way I talk. You know what I mean.
Sorry, man. I told you, man. We go all over the place on that show. But
I love it. You may have to flex because I'm looking at some Rangers walking around my car. I may be getting kicked out of the park in a second. So we'll see. Okay. We'll just roll with it.
All right, Bubba. Well, I know Brandon's been quiet.
Well, no, I was going to ask you. I was waiting to see if you were going to touch on it, but we haven't come around yet. So tell us a little bit more about Veterans Path and like what the camps look like, because I know when we talked on the phone, you had talked about the couple of different options, like for example, like the sexual assault ones and things like that, and how you help everybody from like PTSD and everything like that. So I really wanted to touch on that and let our audience hear a little bit about that.
Thanks, Mary. Thanks for getting us back on track. So
my
so
Veterans fault.
We've historically done in-person retreats, again, primarily focused in the California, the Monterey Bay, the San Francisco Bay Area, with service members who are battling with post-traumatic stress, whether that's from the battlefield, whether it's from childhood, adverse childhood events, or if it's from military sexual trauma, something that happened to them while they're in the service, not related to the battlefield. And we have co-ed retreats, men and women. We've got the female-only retreats, and we've got the male-only retreats. because there are times when people feel more comfortable sharing certain things that happen to them. And you don't have to share it, but sometimes that helps to develop a little bit of community. If you're out there in a retreat with 12 to 24 other people, and you're, maybe off to the side after, in between a meditation or in between a nature walk or whatever, and you're like, hey, you know what, when I was in, this is what I saw, this is what happened to me. If you feel comfortable doing that, there's definitely no pressure to do that. But that can be therapeutic in and of itself. Talking to somebody else who's experienced something potentially somewhat similar, rather than talking to a counselor, it's sometimes helpful to do that. So yeah, we had 1-day retreats, which we call our Pathfinder retreats. We've had 3-day retreats, and then we have what are called anchor programs, which start with a 5-day intensive retreat, learning mindfulness and meditation, and then going from that, you go back to the winds, do some online stuff, meeting every week as a group virtually, and then you come back for a long weekend at the end of that 4 months, just to kind of rehash everything. COVID threw a complete wrench in that. We were planning on starting online programming next year in 2021. COVID accelerated that timeline, and then the partnership that we have with eMindful and their app, Life, we've got some online mindfulness and meditation that we're teaching to service members and veterans, and it's taught by veterans. So it's veteran specific meditation taught by veterans, because again, it's easier for a veteran to relate to another veteran.
Right.
So most of our teachers, actually almost all our teachers, are veterans now. The founders were not veterans. Lee Lester and Chris Fortin had founded Veterans Path. It was actually called Honoring the Path of the Warrior before. Got rebranded as Veterans Path. They were not veterans, but several of the teachers, even when they were around, were. Now all our teachers are veterans. So that's where we are.
You mentioned too that you've literally seen lives be saved, like from these courses, right? Or these retreats. Right.
Yeah. Let me just see what's happening here. I've got it. Nope, I'm still good. It looks like I'm still good. I'm not getting kicked out just yet.
Yeah. They're not padlocking the parking lot. Okay.
Nope, not yet. So yeah, I've literally seen lives changed. I've seen lives saved in the courses. The podcast that Jason mentioned at the beginning, also called Veterans Path. I've interviewed some people that have gone through our programs, and they were on dark roads, thinking some really dark thoughts, considering some really dark options.
I was going to ask, how do you guys, so again, you can give someone the tools. And a lot of times, and I've seen this firsthand, where you have, personnel, they go through it, they look like they're going to be on track, and then of course, boom, they get away from it. What are some of the follow-up, items that happen? What are some of the touch points? Like, because there's some, like, I can't even remember what it's called, but basically, like, let's say you have the retreat, then you would think maybe 15-day, 30-day follow-up, and then, something, and eventually taper down. Like, what does that look like?
In the past, when we've done, very small, intimate retreats with groups, it's been fairly easy to keep in touch with them. We have several members come back for follow-on retreats. We have a program where we have veteran leaders who have gone through the programs. The intent is for Veterans Path to develop a Veterans Path mindfulness teacher program that those people will come back and teach. So it's kind of the train the trainer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. I like that.
But now, as we're starting to scale, the intent is, as COVID has become, it's flipped the world upside down. Stress has become much higher in everybody, right? Including service members and veterans. So we want to scale it fast. We want to get it in the hands of people that can use it fast. So with that, the follow-up is harder to do. So what we do is we rely on the cohorts to follow up with one another. They develop like a WhatsApp group or a Facebook group. And we've checked in with them and we're like, hey, how's that going? And they're like, oh yeah, there's chatter in there every day about, hey, I'm struggling with my mind. I'm struggling with this aspect of my focusing on breath or my mind is racing, and the other people offer them the support. So it's that built-in community that you become a tribe of, or a tribe that you become a part of, rather.
There we go.
With
I like that.
with Veterans Path. So it's your new tribe as you've transitioned out of the military or after you've hung up the uniform. And so that in that respect, that's our follow-up, our new form of follow-up.
It's freaking awesome, brother. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it works.
Someone commented and was like, "Thank you for getting them back on track."
Yeah, I was like,
Little dog.
Well done.
Anyways, yes, thank you for sharing. I really wanted people to hear that because I actually shared this in a group called #SavingSailors, created by Ryan, I think his last name's Sherman. He created it just, very similar to your reasoning for wanting to do this, just seeing a lot of people struggling. So I shared it in there because I wanted them to find out more about your program.
Right on. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And for those who are watching, for your mom, Jason, and then whoever else is watching.
My mom and my husband, or his mom and my husband.
You can find out more about the programs that we offer and the actual organization itself online, veteranspath.org. And then we are on all the different social media platforms just under Veterans Path. And then myself, you can email me if you have any questions, John, at veteranspath.org. If you have any questions about the organization, again, or the programs.
Oh, you literally answered everything I was getting ready to ask. Like, hey, how do we blah blah blah? But what can I do for other than the two listeners that are listening right now to also potentially share your message as you're running away from the park rangers?
It's coming up right now.
Like, how you doing?
I'm getting flagged out.
Okay. All right. Well, so it sounds like we gotta get this short. But what can I do for you, brother?
Let me get all the car stuff out of the way. Look at that. Can you see the sun on my face?
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm gonna pull off.
All right. Do not attempt this at home, folks. She's a licensed professional right here.
The gate is like 200 yards that way, so I'm good. Let me at least put my seatbelt on.
That's what you were doing.
No, I think you have the sunshade.
Yeah, I had the sunshade right on my side because it's setting right behind me and right to my side. Yeah, good times. Hey, but this is real life in these days.
Yeah.
So hey.
I love it. That's freaking awesome.
We were waiting for you. They were like, he's still not here. And I was like, he's honestly probably going to come on like the minute that he's supposed to be here. Because remember our phone call? Yeah. I was like tried to call him like 2 minutes early. Like, hey, something like that. And he like sent me to voicemail and then called me like right at the time.
And of course, I always do the reverse planning. I'm like 10 minutes ready before. Like, I just can't help it. Like, all right.
Yeah.
No, but I get it.
Like no, I'm trying to use every single minute of my day to the fullest extent. So as I was getting ready to get on the show, I was out here at Royal Gorge with my family, my wife and 2 kids. We walked across this amazing suspension bridge. I don't even know how high it is off the canyon bottom. But, and then I walked to my car, turned on the Zoom, and boom, here I am. So yeah, man, real life. Authentic as it comes, right here.
So wife and kids are in the car right now as well?
No.
Okay. I was like, whoa. Okay. I'm like, okay.
Like no warning, just like we're going now. Thanks, guys.
Hey, they're real quiet.
Yeah. Well, brother, I feel comfortable you having to drive and do all this, and I just want to say thank you so much for doing it.
The gate, dude. Off the gate, so I'm good.
He's having too much fun talking with you.
All right, there. Car is out.
I think I had told you that my really good friend Jen and her husband Matt, they love RVs. They're looking forward to retiring. They're like they're always looking at RV models and everything. They're like downsizing their stuff already because I think he retires in like a year or two. And
that's
huge. they their RV. They're obsessed with it.
It was my wife's passion. She completely gutted the thing and went like straight up chip and Joanna Gaines on it.
Oh, wow.
Gutted it from front to back, top to bottom. It looks nothing like it used to. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So is it a pusher or a puller?
It's a Class C motorhome.
Okay, so it's a puller.
How about I put it like that?
Okay.
Wait, is that one of those pop-up ones?
No. So a pusher is
Oh.
a diesel, and a puller is your standard V8 Triton Ford or V12.
Yeah,
whatever it is. Yeah.
So is it the one that you attach to the truck then, not the one that has the driving thing in it?
This one has the driving piece in it, which is nice because you can, though this isn't the safest thing in the world, but you see that, I don't necessarily abide by the safest things in the world. So
we do not claim anything that goes wrong in this video.
do not follow my lead. Anyway, in the Class C motorhome, you can drive around, and then your spouse or your children can get up and walk around for a little bit inside while it's still driving. That's one of the benefits. Yeah, but the benefit of having one of the ones that's pulled is as soon as you get to a place, you have a vehicle. I've got to tow a vehicle, right? I got to tow the thing that I'm in right now. And I'm not going to show you the vehicle that I'm driving right now. It's embarrassing. It's a little yellow.
Who cares, man? It's all good.
500. It's a tow behind. So let me. I'm going to pull around this side, and I'm going to flip the camera and turn off the virtual camera or virtual background because this.
He wanted to show the sunset.
This view is worth it. Holy cow! Let me see if I can not screw up and don't hang up on you. Let's see. Turn off the virtual background.
You might just have to do selfie style where you just spin around.
Hey, now you see the car that I'm in.
Race car yellow. I like it.
There it is.
There you go.
There it is. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
man.
Colorado, baby. That's why Colorado Springs.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Hashtag that's why.
Yeah, that's why. Let me flip back around. So yeah, you guys can just enjoy my yellow Fiat background for the rest of the call.
No, what I meant by pusher or puller is a Class C. They can either get a diesel pusher where the engine's at the back of the bus and it pushes your bus forward, or you have a puller with the V8 up front, right? So like we had a 38-foot, just called a Winnebago because it was basically what it was, but it just beat the crap out of us. We went on a 3,500-mile trip with the 2 of the 7 grandkids, and part of that trip was going to the Grand Canyon. And you might, I jumped out of planes just like you, right? But you don't really have a choice. You just jump out, you go, right?
Yeah.
Got to the Grand Canyon, did that whole Crystal Bridge, whatever they call it. And I was like, you got to be shitting me. It starts cracking when I walk on it, and I freaked out. I was like, oh no, get me off this damn thing, right? And there my grandkids are just running all over the place, like, come on, Papa. And I'm like, no, like whatever. But
something about jumping on an airplane, man. Everything looks flat. It's one dimension or 2 dimensions, I guess. It's like that's easy, but as soon as you start seeing that 3rd dimension, it's like and you don't have a parachute on. You have no time.
Exactly.
No, I'll jump on a plane all day long. No way.
Well, that's why when you say go on the suspension bridge, I'm like, okay, that's all right.
I started like having heart palpitations. My stomach dropped my butt, like all that. Just you talk. Suspension bridge, like.
Yeah.
I just think of Jumanji when they're getting chased by those monkeys on the bridges.
Oh, yeah. No, it was definitely more stable than that.
Oh my God. Well, Bubba, we're coming towards the end of the show, man. And I definitely want to say thank you so much for being on there. So obviously, veteranspath.org, Facebook, LinkedIn, social, Instagram. I'm sure probably LinkedIn and Facebook is the 2 biggest ones, or are they pretty much everywhere?
Yeah, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're on them all. We're on them all for different reasons, right? Different users use different platforms, and then I'm on all of them. My Facebook I keep private for the most part, but my other I'm on Instagram, Mindful Frogman. If you're looking for me on Instagram, and then I'm on LinkedIn. Just again, the last name is Macaskill. First name is John, Jon, and then
check out the podcast. Right.
Yeah. So the podcast, we're available on all major podcast platforms. It's just it's named after the organization, Veterans Path. And season 1, I had 65 episodes, and then season 2, I'm just starting to re-record, or rather record for that, and I'll publish starting next month. Jen and Tom Satterley were my first interview for season 2.
Awesome.
And he has one hell of a story. I mean, Rick had a pistol charged in the car, ready to go, and end it all. And
Wow.
yeah, the podcast, I teared up listening to him and Jen speak. So, yeah. So, hey, y'all, you've been awesome. Thanks for entertaining my shenanigans here.
Thank you, man.
And Jason, look forward to you being out here and us linking up in person.
Absolutely, sir. Will do, man. Be safe, man. Be well.
Y'all take care. All right.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, Mayor. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So first LinkedIn Live. Yes, a little all over the map. You get to combat veterans together. It gets a little crazy, but yeah, it's fun times. Man, what an awesome dude. Seriously, like what an awesome story. I can't wait to have him on again and really deep dive into his story. That's going to be amazing. But we'll probably need 4 hours for that podcast. I don't know. So what do you got, Miranda?
Amazing. Nothing. Yeah. I think he is absolutely amazing. I don't even know how else to end it by just like, thanks, bro. And I'm excited to get to know you more. He's totally a bro, right?
Yes, totally. Like he's someone you just want to go hang out and just hang out with. Just cool dude.
Yeah.
Clifford, how about you, my friend? Anything from the cheap seats?
Nah, he was pretty rad. That was cool. Yeah, and I love what he's doing, because mental health is, especially like
now,
awareness and depression is there's still such a stigma around it, and until we normalize being able to talk about it openly and freely, there's still going to be 12, 22, 36 a day.
I saw somebody posted today that she wants to see the same one I was telling you about earlier, where she did the video about it. She wants to see the push-up stop, and she wants it to be 22 phone calls a day. So for the month of September, instead of 22 push-ups, she wants 22 phone calls a day. She's on LinkedIn too, and I was like, that's a awesome. Really great idea. 22 phone calls a day.
Dang.
Yep.
I like that.
Right?
That's a tough one.
I almost want to pull her on too and be like, tell us more.
Yeah. Maybe we should get her on. I like that idea. That's actually pretty freaking awesome. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, shoots, folks. That's pretty much it for Miranda, myself, and Cliff. Thank you so much for joining us this week on a special edition on the Weekly J being live. And you be well, be safe, enjoy your weekend, hug your loved ones, and just be good to one another. Aloha.